Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Just another nugget. Any worship short of spirit and truth is just us playing with our emotions in church or wherever we are. Anything that is not honest, anything that is not pure, anything that is not true. My friends, this isn't in my message today, but the church is filled, and I mean globally, filled with us teasing and playing with each other emotionally to one-up each other in the context of a church service, and then we walk away with the same issues, problems, and difficulties we've had because our worship lacks truth. Sometimes we are so concerned about seeming deep and spiritual to the person next to us that we make up a little prophecy. Come on. And it would be okay if it was just that. But see, everything that's not true becomes a divide between us and God, between us and our solution, between us and our progress, between us and our deliverance. And so you see, it's not just playing. It's separating. Wow. It's dividing. It's distancing. So that was just a little extra for those that may want extra today. Amen. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked. Isn't it just like TV today? As soon as it gets good, there's a commercial. Right. Yeah. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou, or why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her water pot and went her way into the city and said to the men, Come see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meantime, while his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he saith unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. Do me a favor and look at your neighbor and say, Neighbor, I need to start to eat the right meat. I need to start to eat the right meat. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? Jesus saith unto him, My meat, see, this is the right meat. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true, one soweth, another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. And many of the Samaritans of that city believed on him for the saying of the woman, which testified, He told me all that ever I did. So when the Samaritans were come unto him, they besought him that he would tarry with them, and he abode there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word, and said unto the woman, Now we believe not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world. Finding my way. In verse 4, Jesus makes this statement, I must needs go through Samaria. And so I want us to take that saying unto ourselves and ask ourselves this question. Where is it that I am supposed to go? We spend so many of our precious days living arbitrarily. like a ship in the middle of an ocean without a rudder. Or we have a good sail, the sail of ambition. We are very ambitious. And so we're going fast, but we have no rudder. So we're in a hurry, going somewhere, but not really knowing where we're supposed to go. My friends, we must, if we will have a meaningful life, come to a place in that life where we know where we must needs go. There's nobody outside of you that can give you that answer.
Amen.
Oh, I know that we just want so much for some mighty man or mighty woman of God to come and whisper a word into our ear to solve the directional problem of our lives. But here's the trouble with that.
Well,
it's your daddy that want to whisper in your ear. Because for him to whisper in your ear denotes that you and him are close enough to have the kind of relationship where he can lean over and say, son. But we seem to get more out of somebody saying something loud in a crowded room where others can see them say it, so we can feel like we're special. But the special place is where a father comes to a son and says, my son, let me tell you the way you ought to go. And it's a personal conversation between you and God. And because you have that relationship, you are not so insecure that you need to be validated by external witnesses of the expression between you and God. But much of what we experience in church really is false, and it's our need to be publicly affirmed by somebody with a title, somebody with a position, so we can say, yes, there's a call in my life, there's a purpose for my life. But it's your daddy that wants to have that conversation with you, and you keep talking to the hireling about what your daddy wants to talk to you about, and then you wonder why you can't find your way.
Come on.
And many times, the very one that's telling you the way you're supposed to go is trying to find his or her way and is looking to leverage your resources to help you get where they're trying to go.
well,
What you say?
My meat, verses 31 to 34, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me. You know, we really have to examine this word meat, because in the book of Joshua, when the children of Israel had wandered around in the desert for 40 years, and now they come to the land of Canaan, and all of the old mindsets should have been dead because the people that had them were now dead. But somehow, these people that God performed all these miracles, signs, and wonders for happened to put themselves mentally in a position to ignore the miracles and to keep a hold of the old slave mentality. And so they were excited about what God had for them. But when they saw the wall they had to climb to get to what God had for them, they said, you know, we'd have been better off in Egypt.
well,
Yeah, come on.
come on.
My friends, what is the mindset that keeps us thinking that trapped in yesterday is better than the tomorrow that God has promised us? Why do we keep holding on to old things instead of pulling and pushing to the new things that God has for us?
Well,
There is no meat, there is no sustenance in what happened yesterday. There is no nutrition, there is no vitality, there is no energy for the work that your life has that's trapped in the experiences of yesterday. There is some wisdom.
yes.
There's some discernment. But no energy. No meat. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me. And